Hello and welcome to this episode of Esports Connected. I'm your host, Megan Van Petten, and today we have a special guest with us, Ron Kerbs. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Megan, for having me. Happy to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you and your revolutionary AI technology to help kids and make gaming a safe place. We are a safer place, I guess I should say. We're delighted to have you and learn all about what's happening over at Kidas. How do I say it? Kidas?
Kidas, yeah.
Kidas.
Um,
Okay.
yeah. So I know that a lot of people talk about generative AI and AI.
Yes,
The AI trend is booming
sure.
a lot, and some people are in the, you know, pro camp. Some people are really against it. I'm here to present and talk about some of the positive, aspects of AI and how um, esports clubs, venues, and also parents of esports players can use AI technology to make sure that gaming is safer for their children, especially for younger children.
That's wonderful. I would love to learn all about, what's great about AI. But first, let's hear about how and why you got into this in the first place. And, what's the origin story behind all of this technology and innovation?
I think that as most people in esports, I was a gamer myself, not a professional one, but a pretty avid one, playing, Sony PlayStation, PC games, growing up, going through all of the relevant stages from, FIFA to GTA to Call of Duty, and to all of the games that a lot of our, players play. Um, and you cannot not notice it when you play those games that once you start playing them, in a team and when you start playing multiplayer versions of those games, and I started in the single player version because I started pretty young. And once you start playing the multiplayer version, you know that there is a lot of toxicity, harassments, people trying to, bully other people, scams. If you come across, female players, it's horrible what they're, going through in some of those, especially shooting games. So I realized that it shouldn't be like that. There's
Yeah.
got to be a solution for that. And unfortunately, when we're talking about the gaming companies and the platform companies, they don't really care about those things. And the reason that they don't care about it is because sometimes the most toxic players are the ones that are, the heavy gamers, the ones that are spending more money on the game. So they don't want to keep them out of the platform. So we end up, staying in a game that we might like, but with a very toxic community, and we see that in a lot of the popular games. And so what I thought is, how can we create a better, safer community for everyone? And I have a background in computer science and actually machine learning. I said, hey, how can we apply the background and the knowledge that I already have to gaming, to the world that I like so much? So that's how we started Kidas. We started to implement some of the newer technology in machine learning and AI. We started 4 years ago before, the AI was booming, and everyone was talking about it. And we apply those techniques in order to protect gamers. So what we've done is, pretty simple in the concept for parents. Technologically behind the scenes is a little bit
Yeah,
more complicated.
sure.
But what we created is created something that connects to your game, analyze the conversations within the game while understanding the context within the game. So if I'm telling you, hey, I'm going to kill you and we're playing the shooting game, we're not going to alert anyone. We're just going to say, okay, it's part of the game. But if you're talking about something that is considered a scam or bullying that is unrelated to the game, then we're going to send alerts to parents. We're going to send alerts to coaches, to anyone who is using our product. So basically, we have a software. It connects to more than 400 games in the background, analyze all of the conversations, and help kids and parents and coaches and admins to make better decisions and to protect the players while they play.
Well, that's amazing. Like, not to overly simplify it, but I would imagine it could be as simple as a keyword.
Yeah. So unfortunately, the first version that we tried was like keyword analysis. Okay, let's just alert that every time
Yes.
someone is saying the N word, the F word, or something like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't work. People were getting too many, false alerts. Gaming is very toxic. It's part of, the nature of gaming. Not every time someone says, a curse word is something that we want to alert about. And we realize that it's not something that is going to work. So we need to have a deeper understanding of what is happening. And for that, you need to implement some more advanced ways to protect players. So you need to understand exactly what happens within the game. So we have integrations with the games to understand who is playing, against whom, where are they? Are they in the lobby? Are they in the game? What are they doing right now? Who's shooting at whom? Like what is the status in the game? Who's winning? All of this information is combined into our algorithm to understand if someone is actually doing something that they shouldn't do, or just playing a game.
So give me a real life example of a solution of what you would not want to hear, that's practical for parents.
Yeah. So a lot of the times we're talking about, especially for younger kids, we're talking about scams. We're talking about account swapping scams. So people telling them, hey, you can't go through this level. Let's switch account. I'll do it for you so we can move to the next level, and then, we'll switch back. And during those cases, when they switch account, they basically steal all of their virtual assets within the game, or maybe prevent them accessing, change the password and prevent them from accessing the game again. And we saw a lot of kids, who started to use our software. Actually, their parents started to use their software. And when we talked with them, they told us, yeah, I started to use your software because before before I started to use the software, people, scanned my kid, and their entire virtual life was stolen because of such scams. And we're talking about younger kids. We're talking about kids who are 8, 9, 10, and they're trusting the other players. Why would you cheat? We're playing together for the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And so those some of the things that we've seen. We've seen a lot of cases of online predators that our software detected and alerted parents and coaches about. So we had a few cases that, people were planning to meet someone that they play with him that they played, and this person was actually a predator. And, and we were able to prevent it. And of course, they alerted the parents. They alerted the law enforcement and the local police. So all of those cases are cases that are actually happening. It's not, hey, it's not going to happen to my child. My kid is responsible. It's estimated that about 60% of the kids will be bullied, harassed, or scammed while playing before turning 18. And so it's a huge problem, especially in the US.
Well, thank you for, explaining that, to the parents out there. It's it's really challenging to hear, that these are the things that our kids are exposed to.
And it's really hard for me to understand it. As a father, my child is too young to play. He's only 3. But I'm thinking about, because I started to play when I was 5 or 6, and I'm thinking about the next few years, and I'm like, is that the world that we want to live in? So that was one of the main reasons that we decided to start Kidas and make the technology available to parents. We don't think that only big companies, only the Microsoft, Sony, Nintendos of the world should have, an internal technology that they use for their own purposes, usually to detect cheaters or those kind of things. We believe that parents should have the ability to protect their kids, to have meaningful conversations with their kid. It's not just about, not allowing kids to play. It's about, hey, something happens, let's talk about it, and let's learn from the situation for next time. We're very pro gaming. We don't think that parents should tell their kids, hey, you're not allowed to play anymore just because something happened. No, let's use it as an experience to learn something about the situation and prevent it next time. So basically, we're looking at our software as, when you're teaching your child how to drive, and most of us have done, and someone sat next to you, taught you how to drive. What do you do? How do you drive? That's our software, teaching you how to play. And when you're, old enough and you don't need it anymore, and you can delete it. But in the critical years, and when we're talking about the critical years, we're talking about the time in which kids starting to play online multiplayer video games. Someone will be there next to them, helping them learn what are the safe ways to do that. Because we understand that parents cannot be there all the time.
Well, sure. I mean, that just goes without saying. Kids are going to be playing on their own and they need to learn, what's going on. I mean, it's as old as time. Don't talk to strangers. Don't get in a stranger's car. I mean, these are just things and this is along the same line. I think that where, obviously it gets more challenging is I wasn't playing with my friends. Where a predator could be playing with us when we're playing outside under the observation of a parent like sitting on the bleachers, say we're playing t-ball, just somebody that wasn't my age or whatever danger that could happen. Adults know enough to keep these non-children or threats per se away. So it's so much easier for that vulnerability to happen online. I mean, it's just common sense. So how do you sell this software, or is it free? Who should get it? How do they get it? Are there lots to compete with? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we provide free trial to parents and to clubs to try our software, and then we're charging $6 a month. And for that, we have two versions of our software actually. We have one for PC, so PC gamers, parents, coaches can install it on their computers and then be alerted if something happens. We also provide recommendations how to conduct those conversations, the hard conversation with the kid if something happened. And we work with clinicians from the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. They have a pretty big bullying and aggression research department. So they basically created guidelines on how to talk about those difficult topics. So that's one version of our software. The other one is actually for Discord servers. So we got a lot of inbound requests from Discord servers telling, hey, I run a community of gamers. They're pretty young gamers. Maybe they're 14, 15. I want to be alerted if someone is trying to scam them. So we have a Discord bot that Discord servers can install on their server and be alerted if something happens. So the admin can, take action in those cases.
Yeah. So the software works right alongside Discord, and that's where the kids are. So it's
Yeah.
perfect for just $6 a month. You're going to get alert. So that to me, it seems like, so you tested it in the children's hospital, is that right?
So we didn't test it in the children's hospital, but it's developed on based on knowledge that based on research from the hospital. We have two advisors from the hospital. There are children psychiatrists and helping us to basically build the technology and help us understand what are the stages, developmental stages for kids, in their understanding of concepts like privacy, concept of private information and information that you share or shouldn't share, concept of cyberbullying, what is going to hurt their feelings in a younger age or an older age. All of those things are things that are closely related to their brain development stage.
Yeah, and just protecting their brain as it's developing is just what they see, what they're exposed to, them feeling wrong if they did like switch accounts and didn't even know, right? Like that's a great alert.
Yeah. Well, we see a lot of the kids blaming themselves and think that
Yeah.
no one taught them. Like how do we expect our kids to know things that we never taught them? Even more than that, we didn't just not teach them. we also, gave them the ability to play with very toxic players, and then they learn that that's the way you should play. Because if I'm starting to play, I'm 12 or 13, and I'm starting to play, and everyone around me is very toxic, maybe I learned that that's the way you should play. That's the way you should be. You should be toxic because everyone around you is toxic.
Wow. I mean, I came from a generation where we didn't even swear,
Yeah,
so I mean, I can vividly remember hearing certain people that would swear and be like, whoa, versus just being in a game where there's toxicity and bullying and cussing and all sorts of things. So, yeah, this is just a wonderful product. Now, are you selling it business to consumer as well as business to business?
we're selling it's basically the same product. We're selling it directly to parents, but we're also selling the product to school, to esport venues, to esport clubs, and we also have partnerships with companies that provide the service to their own customers. So we have a partnership with big telecom companies, with antivirus companies, gaming hardware providers, and all of those companies want to make sure that their own users are safe, so they bundle our software into one of their existing solutions.
Well, that's amazing. I wish we had a little bit more time to show a demo of the software, but if you wanted to share your screen and you have something, we certainly could. But other than that, where would people find your product to do a free trial?
Yeah, for sure. So um, you can go to getkidas.com, getkidas.com, and to test our product. Talking about the demo, you can see there the weekly report that we're sending to parents, the dashboard that we have for parents. All of those things are things that, of course, are explained on the website. And I actually don't have a demo that I can share right now. I can look for it, but I wouldn't want our listeners to wait for it. It might take me like a minute or two, but definitely something that you can see on our website.
Yeah, and I think that that's fair enough. So people can, get the free trial by going to getkidas.com, GETKIDAS.com. And it's just so cool that you founded this, and before AI was really what it is today. How long did it take to develop the product?
Yeah, it took quite a time. So from the moment that we had the concept until the moment that we had like a tested product that actually works and we're testing it on a daily basis, it took us almost 2.5 years. And the reason for that is that we had a very basic product at the beginning. We wanted to alert parents about cyberbullying, and then we realized, okay, it's not just about cyberbullying; it's about scam, harassment, it's about 60 other risks that we detect. We now detect more than 60 risks. So each one of them takes time to build, takes time to understand what is the current situation in gaming, what do parents care about, what do esport coaches care about, and building
Yeah.
the right solution for each one of them. Because the things that esport coaches would want to know about are completely different from the things that parents would want to know about, which is completely different from the thing that the Discord server admins would want to know about. So in order to build all of that, it took us more than 2 years.
So, yeah. And then there's mobile.
Yeah.
As soon as you're
Um,
like there, the mobile's exploding. So, can you talk a little bit about that?
yeah, mobile is big, and we all know it. And playing on your iPad, playing on your phone. Luckily for us, research shows, and it's backed on by a lot of research institute, Common Sense Media is one of them, that bullying actually happens more on PC games and console games, and that's why we want to be laser focused on those type of markets. We want to be laser focused on PC games because we know that most bullying happens there, and also on consoles because we know it happens there as well. On mobile gaming, we're talking about a lot of players playing, but
Yeah.
many of them don't feel like they need to communicate when they play on mobile. First, because sometimes they're in maybe not wide environment, so they cannot really talk. Maybe they're on the way and the internet is not very stable, or maybe they're just using mobile and they're next to other people and they don't want them to hear them cursing. So
Yeah.
in a lot of those cases, we see that, and a lot of research shows that gaming communication and especially bullying happens less on mobile gaming. And of course, we have a lot of people who are just playing casual gaming, Candy Crush, and other things on mobile gaming that luckily don't have those type of threats.
Yeah. And it's probably just easier to monitor, versus, handing your child a phone per se.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that, and I think that a lot of parents, at least at the beginning, they're giving their kids phones and they tell them, hey, I'm giving you a phone, but it doesn't mean that I'm giving you access to all of the apps in the world or all of the games in the world. Here are the things that I want you to use your phone for. Maybe it's, group chats with your friends. Maybe it's to communicate with your parents and family. Hey, mom, when are you picking me up? And so on. And and games come at a later stage. And once they come at a later stage, they already played on their gaming consoles, they already play on their PCs, and we hopefully are going to be there for them to teach them what is the right way to play.
Wow, this is just fantastic. So we know how everybody can get a hold of you. And what else can we talk about today before we conclude? We've got a few more minutes. What's next?
I think the world of gaming and the combination of gaming and AI is fascinating. And I'm not just talking, about my company and what we do. I think that AI is completely going to change gaming. And the way that it's going to change gaming is that we're going to have, you know, every gamer is going to have like a personal assistant teaching them how to play better, what
Yeah.
are the best next moves. And I think that there is an entire industry that is going to be changing based on those AI personal assistants. I don't know if any of you saw that, but Microsoft just demonstrated a copilot for Minecraft. So basically, you can install an agent on your computer that is going to teach you how to play Minecraft better. So if I were a coach or if I were an esport, tournament organizer or team, I would be quite concerned because now a lot of the things, a lot of the services that are, they're providing, an AI might be able to, replace them and change it. And we're thinking about it and we're thinking about all of the jobs that are going to be replaced, but I'm thinking about all of the new jobs that are going to be created as part of this trend. We stop using horses and we have cars and we have taxi drivers. And once AI is going to replace them, we're going to have, other things that are going to be used. So I'm thinking about the new possibilities that AI, generative AI is going to create for gaming and the gaming industry. And I think that everyone that is very interested in the gaming and the gaming space should think about those things.
Especially the creative lanes. We get it. So AI is there to help and we could take advantage of it and step forward. But there's that creative component. I play around with AI. I enjoy it. I enjoy like, wow, how could this be, refined? And then there's just still that authenticity part, the creative element that, we can look at anything we want it in any way we want, but it sounds like there's a lot more innovative ideas coming from your company and yourself as a founder for what's new and coming. We should follow you.
Thanks for saying that, and definitely would be happy to engage with in conversations with people interested in the topic. And just to wrap up, I think that when we're talking about AI and AI combined with UGC, user generated content, I think that's going to be big. People are now creating their own games. People are now creating their own gaming extensions, platforms like Overwolf for gaming extensions. Once you combine those two forces, the force of AI allowing you to be super creative, create photos, videos, create stories, and you combine it with the ability to extend games, then we're creating a whole new world with almost, it's impossible to even imagine what we can create, what everyone can create now when combining those two forces.
It really is. It's really exciting times, and it's wonderful to share them with you, Ron. So thank you so much for joining us. We'll miss you at Esports Next, but we're excited to see your product and try it, and also, stay in touch with what's coming for those of you just tuning in. Do you want to give your email and some of your social media places to contact you? I'd imagine you might want to share your Discord or where you like hanging out the most.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm definitely feel free to email me. I'm Ron at getkidas.com. Or if you want to follow us on social media, Kidas on all of the platforms. Discord, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're we're all over the place. Feel free to look for Kidas and we're there. Engage, talk, suggest things, and we'll be happy to talk.
Well, thank you for being on the show, and we look forward to meeting you in real life. Thank you, Ron.